Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Basketball, TITTH number 196. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. I got Stephen Hammond with me tonight. How are we doing, sir? Happy Friday. You're muted. Yep, there it is. Oh, shit. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, forgot about that one. Happy Friday. We made it to the weekend, and we got some basketball tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got a lot of picks to go through. You got any big plans for the weekend?
No big plans this weekend. Just chill out, watch some college football on Saturday, and then the NFL on Sunday.
Yeah, NFL on Sunday is going to be weird, man. Like everybody in the league has got a Q next to their name. It's going to be a fun one. So everybody be sure to drop in with us Sunday morning and when we kick off Fantasy Sunday. Let's just jump right into it now. We already have some games getting ready to kick off here, some that have already started. Me and Steve are going to do our best props, and then we're just going to jump right into the, the Bucks and the – who are the Bucks playing?
Bucks are New York. The Knicks.
Yep, playing the Knicks. And then we got another early one, the Raptors and the Cavs. So we're going to go through our best props and then jump into those previews really quickly. Come back for some Monkey Knife Fight props and then finish with some of the later games. All right, first up, I've got Kevin Looney, for the Golden State Warriors, over 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He is 6-1 to that over on that number through 7 games. 6-1 through 7 games. Absolutely love it. Laid heavy on it. He's getting 2 to 3 field goals, a handful of rebounds, 5 or 6 rebounds, and roughly an assist a game. Seems like an easy one for me. What do you like in tonight, Steve?
So my first one, I got Paul George, leading scorer of the game. You're getting that at plus money, plus 120. I really think the only person that can give him a run for his money is Karl Anthony Towns. But in Paul George's last 3, he's had 32 or more. I think it's 42, 32, and 32. So I like him to take this. He's the main part of that Clippers offense, averaging 28 on the year. I like him there. So you're getting that at plus 120. And then De'Aaron Fox under 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He hasn't really even got over the 30 mark much this year, but he has hit this number only 2 games, and one of them being the first of the year. So I like this one a lot.
Okay, very good, very good. Yeah, I like that Paul George one a lot. I'd also take a look at Paul George steal props as well. He's averaging 3 a game, so anything over 1, absolutely love that. And De'Aaron Fox, I get the under. The shooting just isn't there. The shooting efficiency. He's taking a lot of shots, not making as many. Hopefully he cleans it up tonight because I'm leaning heavily on the Kings, but I like where your head's at there under the 32.5. And like I said, I've got over 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Kevin Looney. All right, let's jump right into game preview mode here. We're looking first at the Knicks and the Bucks. Knicks are coming into Milwaukee as road dogs, plus 4 on the spread, plus 145 on the money line. And the over-under for this one is at 217 points. Knicks plus 4 is one of my favorite picks for the night. I think that they just have a deeper roster right now, especially their starting lineup, especially at the guard position. Really like them to handle business on the road. Top 5 scoring team in the league as far as total score. Top 5 in field goal percentage. 3-point ball is there. Could do a little bit better defending the 3-point ball, but the Bucks are going to be without Middleton tonight. So I like the Knicks to cover, to win, and I'm thinking the under 217. What do you like here, Steve?
Yeah, I'm actually going to say the same way. With Middleton out, I think they just don't have enough. And the Knicks, they're just very deep, especially at the guard spot. I know you had said that. And I'm actually staying the same way on under 217. Knicks just good defensively, and I think the Bucks are too. I think they give each other a challenge the entire night.
Yeah, the Bucks are actually 2-6 to the over so far this season. The Knicks have been scoring more consistently, and I think that they're also getting a little bit lower numbers as well, just based off of their Eastern Conference matchups. So they're 5-3 to the over. But like I said, the Knicks are playing great defense. We both mentioned that Middleton's out. They're also missing Brook Lopez. They're relying a lot on Thanasis Antetokounmpo at the 4, bringing Giannis over as a stretch 5. They do have Bobby Portis back. He's played in a couple of games now, I think 3 total. He's getting anywhere from like 15 to 20 minutes a game. So that's a little bit of relief off the bench, especially in the paint. You can move Giannis down to the 4, be stretch forward rather than the stretch center. That opens things up a little bit more. But again, when you look at the Knicks, Kemba and Evan Fournier at the 1-2, and then you're backed up with, Alec Burks and Derrick Rose. That's a great combination. RJ Barrett's going to be a little bit too much, I think, for Pat Connaughton at that 3 matchup. So I like the Knicks a lot here. We'll touch back a little bit more on the Bucks. I know that we got like Grayson Allen in our fantasy waiver wire. Him and Connaughton, they're getting a lot of usage, but what they should be doing, maybe not getting it done so well. Shooting 3-point balls, playing good defense. Those are the kind of their specialities. It's kind of meh right now. It's kind of meh, but we'll get to a little bit more of that later. Next up, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers traveling to Toronto. Red hot Toronto Raptors. Cavaliers coming in as road dogs, +6 on the spread, +195 on the money line. And the over-under for this one is at 205. That's a pretty low number. I like the Raptors to cover and win. I'm not really so comfortable with the 205. Cavaliers are going to be missing Lauri Markkanen. They're going to be missing Kevin Love, both out with injury. I believe Markkanen, it's just COVID protocol. I don't know if he came in close contact or he actually has it. Or do you know about that?
No, I'm not sure. Do you know is Scotty Barnes playing this game?
Scotty Barnes is probable. He's probable. Okay. And he's been scoring a lot. He's 4th on the team in total scoring, but he's also missed a couple of games and still a 4th. So the Toronto Raptors are hot right now. 5-0 in their last 5. Couple of upset covers mixed in there as well. I do believe Orlando covered against them. I think Orlando covered 7 points on them. They only lost by 1. But this is a team that's red hot. They're playing at home. The Cavaliers are a team that I've liked recently, playing good defense, a top 10 defense in total scoring. I just don't think it's enough, though, to beat the Raptors at home, as they're red hot. What do you think?
Yeah, so I don't like the Cavs to win this game. I think the Raptors will win it. But I think the 6 points is enough to cover there. I think the Cavaliers are a scrappy team, and this one's going to go down late into the 4th. 2 teams that are, young and trying to figure out what they have, what pieces they have as they continue to build. So I think, this one goes down to the wire, and 6 is enough. The only thing I'd be a little worried about is at late game fouling. You might find yourself where it leans to help the Raptors. As for the over-under, 205, it's way too low. I got to take the over.
Raptors 4-5 to the over, Cleveland 3-6. And I guess missing Markkanen and Love just kind of concerns me. They may, get into some roadblocks occasionally that, they may stumble and, go a couple of minutes without scoring or something like that. Just because they've had that experience in the lineup, they've had more veteran leadership this year, more so than years past. So they're coming off a big win up against Portland, 107-104 on the road. This will be another tough test, but again, I like the Raptors here. You had mentioned Cleveland covering. It's a good pick. Cleveland 6-1 their last 7 ATS. So they've been getting it done. Raptors 4-1 in their last 5. The only one that they didn't cover was that one up against Orlando. So there is some upside there for Cleveland, but I'm going to stay away from the spread. I got my pick, one of my best picks tonight on the Raptors to win money line. And with the big boards that we have available right now, you can easily mix in that -225 with something else that you feel really comfortable with and take home some easy profit. But I don't love the spread, and I don't love the total. All right, let's jump back to our Monkey Night Fight props. We're going to be going over some Monkey Night Fight props for the games that haven't started yet. Those 2 games should be kicking off momentarily if they already haven't. We're at 7:43 East Coast time. All right, first up here, we've got Karl Anthony Towns versus Paul George on a point total. Both are at 26.5 points. Steve already mentioned that he likes Paul George to be the leading scorer in that game. I like that. So the 26.5 should be easy money. I'll take the over there. And I'll take the over for Karl Anthony Towns as well. I feel like that's a little too low. He's actually the best 3-point shooter on the team. So this is the guy that they're looking for 3-point production, at least the efficiency-wise. He's shooting, I think, over like 50% from beyond the arc. So give me the over for both. What do you think here, Steve?
So I like the over for Paul George. I'm going to go under for Karl Anthony Towns. He's only had 2 games above that number while, doing well this season. And in those games, he shot 11 of 15 in one of them. He shot 10 of 24, so not necessarily a great night. Right. I do think that the Clippers, it's a bad matchup for them. They don't have really anyone that's going to be able to bang with him in the post as much. And I think that's where the mismatch comes in. And that's why you're seeing some of these numbers like Paul George was plus 120 to be the leading scorer, and Anthony Towns was plus 240. Wow. if they had someone to throw at him, it might be, it might be even a higher number. But yeah, I'm going to go under on Karl-Anthony Towns, over on Paul George.
Do you know what Karl-Anthony Towns did in the last game? Because they just played each other. They're playing a back-to-back. The Clippers won the previous matchup 126 to 115. Do you know what he did in that one?
He had 18 points with on 6 of 16 shooting, 3 from 8, 3 of 8 from deep.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely rebound from that. Was Marquise Morris in the game? Did he play that? Because he's out in this one.
Let me see if I can see that. I am not sure. Doesn't say here.
That's right. He's going to be out tonight. Obviously, not obviously. Serge did come back, and now he's out again. So I think there is a little bit more upside there. I'm not sure if those guys were out or not, but he's just the focal point of the team. So like the volume is there for him to go over that total of 26.5. He's just got to clean up the efficiency.
Morris was out the last game.
Okay. What about Serge?
Serge was out, I believe, too.
Okay, gotcha. So, well, maybe it's the same thing again. But like I said, I love that volume. I love him chasing those points. So just needs to clean up the efficiency a little bit. All right, next up, we've got Brandon Ingram on points, and we've got Draymond Green on assists. This Draymond prop is way high. Brandon Ingram, 22.5 points. I feel like that's actually really too low. I believe he's averaging over that 26 to 28 points a game. So give me the over for Ingram and the under for Draymond Green, who's at 9.5 assists. He's averaging 7. He facilitates the ball, but that's way too high a number. Easy under for me and an easy over for Ingram. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say Ingram is so easy for me. I think that 22.5 number, so he's got to hit 23. I think he, finishes in that 23, maybe to 26 range. Draymond and Green, this is way too high for assists. I mean, this would be more realistic for something like a rebounds or something. Sure. I'd love the over there, but assists, I'm sure he'll get 8, but I don't see him pushing 10.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm staying away from that number. Give me the under there. And again, Brandon Ingram, he is questionable coming into this game. Maybe I can get an update on that really quick, but that wouldn't concern me. If he plays, I'm taking the over on that number. That's an easy one for me. Let me see if we have an update on his injury status just really quickly here. If we got a probable or no, it still says questionable. It's obviously a later game, so you'll want to wait and see on that, of course, because if you do put that down on Monkey Knife Fight, they're going to cancel your contest if he doesn't play, if he's out of the lineup. So something you want to look out for. All right, last one up here. We've got Damian Lillard versus Domantas Sabonis. You got Lillard on points, and you got Sabonis on rebounds. Easy under and an easy over for me. So Lillard under 27.5 points. Steve, I think you told me before the show he hasn't hit it at all, right?
No, he hasn't hit that number once this year.
He's shooting below 40% from the field, below 40% from three-point line. It's back issues. It's lack of consistency. It's a rough start. Buy whatever narrative that you want, but take the under 27.5 points for Lillard there. Sabonis, he's at 10.5 rebounds. He's averaging that per game. He's averaging like 10.2, 10.3. Easy over for me. I don't love the big men of Portland right now. Nurkic, Covington, Larry Nance, Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller should be doing way better as a backup center down there, or up there, I should say. They're not getting it done. I think there's a lot of upside for Sabonis to hit that over. And Lillard, all signs point to the under here. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. We're going to see Sabonis in probably like a 13 rebound night for them. He's been hitting that with relative ease lately. Damian Lillard, yeah, that way too high of a number. I was seeing that somewhere around 27 and 26.5. But yeah, he hasn't hit that once. I'm looking at his past 3 games, 3-point shooting, 3 of 12, 2 of 9, 2 of 14. So there's not much hope there for him. So I got to take the under until he starts hitting that consistently.
I think he's gonna come to an even keel here. Like, I don't really even think this is anything to do with the roster or kind of like the offseason woes. I just feel like he's just had a bad start. Maybe there is a back issue. Maybe it's a combination of all those things. But right now, it's the CJ McCollum show. If McCollum was there at 27.5, I'd take the over. Hitting high percentage threes. Him and Anthony Simmons are really dominating the outside shooting there for Portland. So Lillard's got to pick it up. It ain't Dame time yet, but it will be soon enough for sure. He'll definitely get his act together. All right, let's jump into the rest of our game previews. Obviously, we already did Knicks and Bucks, Cavs and Raptors. Those games should have started already now. Let's jump back in here. We're looking at the Clippers and the Timberwolves. Already touched on it a little bit with Karl Anthony Towns and Paul George. We got the Clippers coming into Minnesota, road favorites, -2.5 on the spread, -138 on the money line, and the over-under is at 216.5. Now, these teams just played each other, and they put up a total of, was that 141? Pretty big number. 216 for a 241 finish, excuse me. Seems a little low, no?
Yeah, I agree. Just because they just played each other.
Right.
That's a great example to play off of. So the over seems like an easy take here.
I like the over as well. I'm going to be riding with that. Timberwolves have been kind of, up and down. They're 3-4 for the record, 2-5 ATS. Clippers haven't been anything consistent here. Is this really a coin flip how the books have it? They got Timberwolves at +118, Clips at -138.
Yeah. And I think them just playing also kind of factors into that, where I think it's really just a toss up of who wins this. Neither team has separated themselves in the West. So, yeah, I actually like Timberwolves here. They get their revenge on the Clippers.
So that last game was the first game Minnesota went to the over. They're 1-6 to the over so far this season. Clippers 2-5. But 83% of the public really likes the over. It sounds like everybody's in on it, and it's got to just be the recency bias. Like I said, 241 in their last game, played just a few days ago. I think they were playing that one in Los Angeles, so now we revert to Minnesota. I like the Clippers here. I think they'll take care of business. For me, it's mostly just their defense. Like the Clippers are still playing great defense. They're shooting the ball well from the three-point line. Minnesota is not. They're not playing good defense. They have no outside shooting. They're really relying on Karl Anthony Towns to get it done, like you mentioned. Beverly's distributing. That's been a nice piece for him. Anthony Edwards, he's had some good games. He's had some bad games here. But overall, I just feel like the Clippers are a better team defensively, and they'll have their opportunities to shut down the Timberwolves on those long stretches, those 8-2 runs, 7-3 runs, whatever. I feel like they're going to have more of those in this one, even on the road in Minnesota. So I'm going Clip Show there. All right, next up, we've got the Pelicans traveling to Golden State, coming in as big road dogs, +9 on the spread, +320 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 214.5. Golden State laying heavy money at home, -400. Of course, -9 on the spread here. I think we both agree that we really love the Warriors, but will they cover the 9? What do you think?
I think they do. Just two teams with, complete polar opposite season so far. Pelicans 1-8, just not a good team. They don't have their star player. So I don't like them to cover that 9. And then you have the Warriors 6-1, and they're clicking.
Oh yeah, one of the best in the West. I'm trying to who's ahead of them right now in the West, actually. If there's just one team. Either way, I love Warriors. I think they're going to cover the 9. I think they will probably cover 14 even. I would even buy that up to 5 more points just because I feel like they're going to create separation, the mismatches that they have. Wiggins is going to have a big night. Jordan Poole will probably have a big night. Of course, Steph as well. I'm all in on Kevin Looney to go over the, booming 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists, right? So I think that they're going to handle business. And a big part of me taking that Looney pick was because I do believe the Warriors will cover the spread, and they're going to be up big, and there should be some extra minutes to go around for a guy like Kevin Looney, who's only putting up, 14 to 16 points a game. So I like him to be on the floor a little bit more than normal this evening. What do you think about the total 214.5? I'm actually thinking the under here.
I wanted to take the over, but it is worrisome that do the Pelicans do their part? And then, if the Warriors run away with this early, do we have to worry about, you're playing some of your deeper end of the bench, and do they hit the over? So I'll go under here then.
I like a 112.90 win for Golden State, like 116.92, something like that. I just don't think that the Pelicans will play their role. Honestly, it could be even more than that. I could see like 110.84. The Pelicans, I don't feel like they're going to play that well on the road. They're, obviously their record speaks for itself, 1-8 for the season, but neither team has really hit the over. The Pelicans 3-6 to the over. Golden State, oddly enough, 1-6. Steph Curry is just cranking up that total. So I'm going to take the under 214.5 there, and I like the Warriors to cover. And I mentioned the Looney prop in that game as well. All right. Next up, we've got the Hornets and the Kings. Hornets traveling to Sacramento, coming in as road dogs, +2 on the spread, +115 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 232 points. A big, big number. Kings are one of my better picks for the night, or my best picks for the night. Riding with them. They're playing at home. Charlotte, they've been playing well, really good offense, but a lot of holes on defense. They can run up the score. Obviously, you see the total at 232. That's really high, but they're not playing both ways. Kings at home, playing very fast pace. They're using their starters a lot. They're getting a lot of minutes. De'Aaron Fox, you mentioned you're taking the under, but he's still around under his 32.5 PRA, points, rebounds, and assists. Still having a very good year. Still getting 6 to 7 assists a game. Still putting up a lot of points. Just got to clean up the shooting percentage a little bit. So I think the Hornets will struggle here on the road, staying away from the spread. Really staying away from the total too. I'm kind of scared of that 232 number. What do you like here, Steve?
So these are probably actually two of my favorite teams so far, gambling wise, in the whole NBA. Hornets, they are just putting up points. Miles Bridges has had success lately. And now they have Rozier back, correct?
Let me pull up really quick, see if he's back tonight.
So yeah, with them, they're very young though, and you said it. They might be. I think they're averaging the most points per game in the entire league, but the defense is not there. So that's actually I'm going to take the over here, just because we know the Kings are that fast paced team. They've been it for a while now, and I like that. I like them to get back to that. Really, I'm going to also take the Kings laying the 2 points at home. I think it's just too much for the Hornets to overcome.
Yeah, we know, like we talk about it all the time, when it's that low, just go to the money line, because if it's a 1 to 3 point spread, that you're going to get something close on the money line, anywhere from minus 115 to minus 200, somewhere in that range, right? So I'm gonna stick with that. I don't want to mess with the spread. It could be a 1 point game. It could come down to the wire. Like you mentioned, defense really bad. Hornets #1 in scoring, 30th in points against. So there is the narrative there to go over the 232, but it's still a really tall number. The Hornets can put up misses and bunches just as much as they can put up buckets. So I'm going to stay away from that. If anything, I would put my money on the under there. Charlotte 6-3 to the over. There's some upside, but Sacramento 3-3 dead even. 50-50. 50% of the public is on the over. 50% is on the under. So that's a damn good number at the 232. That's a fact. Also, the public has 60% for Sacramento to cover, 40 for Charlotte. So a little bit leaning favorites in Sacramento's way. I think it really just comes down to them being the home team. Charlotte's on a long leg road trip. I think they'll handle business at home, the Kings. And
Hornets are coming off 2 losses, so they're trying to bounce back, but this is probably just not the spot.
Yeah, I would say so. All right, lastly, we have the Pacers traveling to Portland. Pacers coming in as road dogs, +5 on the spread, +175 on the money line. Over under here is at 223 points. This is a tough one. This is another coin flip for me. I mean, the Blazers are laying -205 at home. I don't love that. This is a team that just lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers at home. What the hell? In an effort where they didn't even put up, over 110 points. I mentioned the Cavs are good, but that's too much.
I mean, I think both of these teams kind of mirror each other, similar to how I thought the Hornets and the Kings did, where, I mean, they're both having disappointing seasons for the teams that they are. We know that the Trailblazers are usually one of the better teams in the West, led by Dame Lillard, and his issues have been kind of making that more this season. But the Pacers, I thought they were slowly building it together last year, and then they started off slow this year too. They really can't find that guy to go with Sabonis when, say, Brogdon's out. So I'm going to take Pacers, with taking the 5 with the Pacers. I don't feel good about it though.
I actually do feel pretty good about it, just because of Dame Lillard's recent woes. He's just not playing very well. So the matchup up against Malcolm Brogdon is a big plus for the Pacers. I'm not sure. I know they have Karis LeVert back. They don't have TJ Warren back, but Sabonis and Miles Turner, man, they are killing it in the paint. Miles Turner may be like their best player right now. So, and that's saying a lot, because Sabonis is on fire, shooting at a high percentage from the field, not so much from the 3-point line, but Miles Turner, I think he leads the team in 3-point shooting. He's over 50% from the 3 or something crazy like that. Getting rebounds, ton of blocks per game. Miles Turner's a guy to own right now, especially in fantasy. I'm going to go Pacers on the +5, and honestly, I don't hate laying the +175 for them on the road. They're coming off of a big win themselves. Who did they just beat?
The Knicks.
Yeah, 111-98 up against the Knicks. It's not too bad. I think were they at home though?
Yes.
Yeah, they were at home. So that says a little bit more, but still, I think they're a deeper team right now. I told you guys earlier that I don't love Nurkic or Covington or Nance or Cody Zeller in the paint. I think they're outmatched by the Pacers. Just depth, starting five, bench. I think the Pacers got this one. 223. I don't love it because the Blazers aren't really, playing like the Blazers, and that's really because Dame Lillard's not playing like Dame time. It just ain't there. So I'm going to take the under 223, but realistically, I'm going to stay away from it. It's not going to be on my card tonight.
Yeah, Miles Turner, Defensive Player of the Year.
It's a stretch.
I don't know. I mean, just look.
Paul George is averaging 3 steals a game so far. I mean, let's put some respect on his name.
Well, let's listen to Miles Turner's 3 blocks, 3, 5, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is he averaging 3 blocks a game?
2.9. So yeah.
Oh, it's there. It's there. Yeah, it's there. How many steals?
Half a steal. Yeah, you'd like to see that go up a little bit.
You like to see that get up, but that's all right.
Yeah, and he's grabbing boards too. So I mean, he was in the talk last year. Down the stretch, I think we'll be talking about him as well.
Yeah, where the hell are these basketball games? Oh, here we go. Knicks and Bucks. I was like, TNT, the Phantom Menace. Haven't we played this enough? Like, Jesus. Sorry, I was trying to get on the Knicks and the Bucks game. Trying to stay updated on my picks here. All right, let's jump into the fantasy waiver wire. We got some interesting ones here. It's kind of thin out there right now, at least how I feel. But we got some interesting ones here. We got some guys coming back and some low percentage ownership rates here. First up, we've got Patrick Beverley of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Didn't necessarily have the revenge win, but in his last game up against the Clippers, 10-10-8. It's the best game he's had all season. Ready to buy in?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can. He gets all the different categories. If you're playing in categories, he's kind of the toughness, I feel like, of that Timberwolves team, and they've definitely lacked that since, I feel like, since Jimmy Butler left. Him and Karl Anthony Towns getting into it about being too soft and everything. Well, that's what Patrick Beverley brings to this team. And
true.
Right now, the minutes are there. He's getting over 20 minutes a game, and he's making the most of them. So I think you got to add him.
As long as he's getting the minutes, right? Like, he's got to get over 25 minutes. This last game was his first game over 25. I don't know if it's just because someone was beat up or, if they just wanted to give him some more playing time up against the Clippers, but I'd certainly get him in tonight, and I would hang on to him until his production just falls off, because he's looked good the last couple of games here. 10-10-8, 7-3-5, 6-6-7. Games before that, not so enticing. Was it 13-2-2? Had the steal on the block, but 5-3-6, 1-1, also not great. But like you mentioned, categories he fills out a lot, and because of the availability and time on the floor, he's going to put up enough production in points leagues to stay viable as well. Tongue tied. Excuse me. Here's a fun one: George Niang for the 76ers. Whoever they plug in is just performing. No Ben Simmons, no problem. No Tobias Harris, no problem. Like, all these guys are just playing super well. Maxey, Kormats. Who else am I forgetting here? I know, isn't like Danny Green hurt too?
Mm-hmm.
Like, all these guys are just producing. In points-based leagues, Niang, his last 3 games, 30, 28, and 40 points. 14-7-2, 18-3-1, 21-5-5. Like, it's all there. He's 32% rostered in Yahoo leagues, and he has 30% increase in the last 2 days. This is a home run for me, man.
Yeah. I mean, even the past 3 games, he's getting 30 more minutes. He's a good stretch big for them. I think you can get it. You can definitely go grab him now. Only 32% roster. That's someone who will be sitting there in your leagues, and he's getting, double-digit points and adding every other stat as well. Low turnover, very low turnover.
No turnovers. Oh, he's got 1-0-1 in his last 3 games, and beyond that, that most he's had 2, and that was just once. Not a ball handler, more of a catch and shoot type of guy. I got Milwaukee here up. What is it, 24-11? Ouch, over the Knicks. Wow, make it 27-11. Wow. I saw a play where Bobby Portis just had his way with Nerlens Noel in the paint. This is with Giannis on the bench. Man, Knicks off to a rough start here on the road, down 16 early. Let's see if we can get some action here. We got R.J. Barrett, Fournier outside the three-point line, gets down to Randall in the paint, backing down, kicks it out. R.J. for three. Nothing. All right, super. We'll get back to that soon, that's for sure. Misery. All right, next up, we've got Devin Vassell for the Spurs. Only 22% rostered, which is pretty interesting. This guy's playing a lot of minutes, 31, 27, 24, 27 his last 4 games, and the production is there. Similar to Beverly, he's adding a little bit of everything. I feel like this guy should be well over 50%. What do you think, Steve?
I knew that you were going to be a fan of him. You love those Spurs players. And
Stop letting me bet on the Spurs. I'm losing money on the Spurs, man. They're killing me.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he adds some value. You hit on his minutes there. He's getting, over 25 in a lot of his games. Mm-hmm. My issue with him is, and I kind of say this for all the Spurs players, it just seems to be like, okay, you're going to get some here, you're going to get some here, and there's no consistency. Just because they don't have that standout, star necessarily, mm-hmm. and it's just kind of trades off. So I think he's maybe a little under rostered. I would think you could see him in like 30, 35%.
He's got to be higher.
I don't know if I go much higher than that.
I don't know. I feel at this point, the minutes that he's getting, I feel like he should be much higher. I mean, he had a slow start to the season. The first 3 games, 25, 20, and 19. But since then, 35, 27, 24, 27, 31. With a player providing that type of production with those minutes, they're going to be owned. Like, they just won't be available to you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Give it a couple more weeks.
I like him in categories. He's really good in categories. He gets steals, mm-hmm. blocks, rebounds, everything. And, he'll toss in double-digit points here and there.
Absolutely. Remember earlier when I was dogging Grayson Allen for not shooting the 3 ball that well? He's 4 for 5 from beyond the 3 tonight, and he's got 14 points.
All right.
They're Grayson up 30 Allen. To 13. He's outscored the Knicks. He's on my fantasy team. Actually, you know what? He might be on my damn bench tonight because I got so many players. Because everybody's playing tonight. I'm pretty sure he's on my bench. Bobby Portis step-in jumper misses it wide open. That's right. Let's go, Knicks. Let's rally. All right. Next up, we've got Davion Mitchell for the Sacramento Kings. Another guy just getting a big increase in minutes. Playing a lot behind De'Aaron Fox, even getting minutes at the 2 because they're popping in like Buddy Hield every now and again at the 3. I told you guys before that they're using a pretty short bench, like 7 to 9 guys at most per night. I feel like as far as like usage goes, they're one of the few teams that have only used less than 12 players. They're at 11. Wow. So there's a lot of opportunity here. He's more of a scoring based guard though. You're looking at 12, 18, 6 and 8 his last 4 games. He mixes in some rebounds and assists, but really, he's a scorer here. Is that doing enough for you to get him on your roster, Steve?
Not yet. No, you need more points there. He's really just being used, I feel like, for hustle.
Yep.
So yeah, not enough yet, but it's someone I'd monitor.
Yeah, definitely someone you want to get out there and gas because, like I said, this is the depth is not being utilized there. Like Marvin Bagley barely playing, and they're running, like I said, like 7 to 9 guys at night or per night, and the 8 and 9 guys, like they're barely even playing still. You know what I mean?
Isn't that kind of weird? I felt like Bagley was kind of coming on last year before he got hurt, and then now it seems like he's not in their plan.
It seems more like he's trade bait right now. It's kind of a similar situation to Bull in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we just had a defensive foul on Giannis. He's going to the line to finish a 3-point play. Next up, we got Bobby Portis. For high percentage roster. It looks like people were in on him before he came back from injury because he didn't play the first 4 games of the season. He comes back a game, he plays like 15 minutes, barely plays, doesn't do a lot. And then the last 2 games, very productive with very little playing time, 22 minutes, 19 minutes, 12 and 8, and 12, 5 and 1. I feel like more minutes are going to come. And if he's available, it's an easy pickup for me, right?
Yeah. I mean, you see if he could just coming to the start a season and be doing this on limited minutes, his role is going to expand. If you think just back to their championship run, his role became big, and he shoots that corner three really, really well. He's going to give you everything. He's going to give you everything he's got. He's just the ultimate hustle guy. So yeah, I like Bobby Portis a lot.
I miss Bobby Portis. We need Bobby Portis right now as Bulls fans. Bobby Portis would be like the missing link to what we need right now. But Bulls are looking good. Don't get me wrong. But we need an explosive four. We need an explosive power forward right now.
Who was it that Bobby Portis?
Let's go. Obi Toppin with the poster from D Rose. Oh my goodness. Sorry, my bad. Didn't mean to break everybody's ears. Didn't mean to do that, but that was awesome.
Vintage D Rose right there.
Yeah, just throwing it up for him. And then, Pat Connaughton comes back and hits a three. These guys are killing me. That's all I got to do is just dog them. They'll come back and they'll play great. It's beautiful. I love it. All right, next up, speak of the devil himself, Grayson Allen, 40% rostered. I own him. I do own him. I think he's on my bench tonight. Like I said, he's absolutely cleaning up tonight. His last couple of games, 8-3, 18-6, 12-5-1, 13-4-1. This is with bad three-point shooting, right? So imagine what happens if he actually cleans up his three-point shooting like he is tonight, apparently. Right now, with Middleton out, he's leading the Bucks in three-point shots attempted. It's not the sexiest numbers, but he really seems like he's going to need to be relied on this roster. So I think he should be owned. I mean, 40%, it kind of seems a little bit low to me right now.
Yeah, I agree. Not the sexiest numbers at all. He's really getting the bulk of his points here, and points and rebounds. And then he'll throw in a few here. Very, very little low turnover rate for him. And then on top of that, he's going to be around good basketball, down the stretch here.
Yep.
And you want players like that. You want to grab your players from good basketball opposed to, I don't know, someone like the Pistons.
The Magic.
Yes, the Magic.
Terrence Ross is not going to win you your fantasy league. Like I'm sorry. Like, as bad as you might want it, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely go grab some Grayson Allen. I own Pat Connaughton as well. It's same roster for my fantasy team. Like I said, both of them are probably on my bench tonight because I thought I had better options. But man, Grayson Allen, chill out, bro. Chill the F out. All right, next guy up hasn't played a game all season. Dylan Brooks. He should be back soon. He's 53% rostered, and this is a guy that will score you a lot of points, rebounds, maybe not as many assists, but he'll definitely rack up points and rebounds, and he'll mix in some defensive work. Just a really easy pickup for me right now. He's 53% rostered on Yahoo platform, so there's a coin flip that he's available right now for an easy scoop up. You drop somebody that's not going to play tomorrow, you throw him on the IR, you're set. Too easy?
No, that's 100%. I think if you can get him out there, you're going to be getting a steal, especially if you have IR spots that you could just place him on. I like a lot of those pieces in that Grizzly offense. There's a lot of guys you could just kind of plug and play in there, and they're a good team, 5-3. Dylan Brooks will step back into a big role.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they'll definitely ease him in with they've had success from Desmond Bane, DeAnthony Melton. DeAnthony Melton, I feel like he might be a sell candidate. And I kind of say that because this next guy I feel like is a buy low candidate. He hasn't been producing. And I feel like DeAnthony Melton is a guy that you can sell high right now. Maybe even Desmond Bane too, because their minutes are going to come down. Slowly but surely, Dylan Brooks is going to, get back up to that 25 to 30 minutes, maybe even more, per game as he gets healthier and healthier. So those would definitely be sell candidates for me right now. And this next guy I would say is a buy low candidate. It's not going to cost you very much. Is Chris Boucher from the Toronto Raptors. This is a guy that I feel like, like you look at his lines, 5-6 his last game, 2-1 before that, very bad, 8-6, 9-4. Like, it's nothing amazing, right? But I feel like it's because he's like kind of the focal point on offense and defense right now. You have Siakam out, you have Scotty Barnes that's playing a fair amount of minutes at the 3 and the 4, so that pushes him a little bit. But I feel like when Siakam gets back, he's going to kind of be like that. That guy that's that goes uncovered in the corner, gets a little bit less coverage, gets a little bit less attention, and his production is going to climb. Am I making sense?
Yeah, no, I think you're 100%. And you kind of see Siakam will take some of the focus off of him, and then I feel like you see sometimes with like Boucher, you get like a weak side rebound and he gets a quick lay in for it just
Right.
because he's kind of like that. He's another hustle player. I've been saying that all episode on about a couple different guys. But yeah, his points are down this year. I don't know how much room there is to grow there. Hopefully maybe 2-3 more buckets a game. But yeah, I mean, all the focus won't be on him, and his defense will improve when he's not being asked as much to do as much.
Absolutely. Pat Connaughton just had a killer rundown block. It was looking like LeBron. No foul, all possession. I mean, it's going to the Knicks, but and then the
Ball
Knicks
out,
commit an
Pat.
off the ball foul. That's great, and we lose possession. Hey, I've been losing by worse and still won. All right, so I'll be all right. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna be fine. The Knicks are gonna be fine. There's no way that Grayson Allen can keep this up for 4 quarters.
We're gonna come back at the end of this episode.
Yeah, exactly. Just watch. Just wait. All right, we are now going to jump into playoff predictions or early playoff odds. So we're going to run through some teams right now. Some run of the teams that are run of the mill, maybe not performing like they should, playing better than we thought they would. Let's get into a little bit here. We got the Atlanta Hawks to make the playoffs. Yes is at minus 340. No is at plus 260. They are currently 4-5. I will let you know where they rank in the East in just one moment here. What do you think, Steve? Are they going to make it?
So
I'd say yes.
Yeah, I think they do. But this, just to make sure, you have to be a top 8 team, right?
You have to be a top 8 team to hit this prop. So yes, they're essentially saying, are the Hawks going to finish 1 through 8 this year in the East? Yes is paying minus 340. They currently sit at the 12 spot, and they are tied with the Celtics, who are also 4-5 at 11. Milwaukee is at 10. Charlotte at 9. Cleveland at 8. One of these surprise teams. You've got the Wizards at 6. Brooklyn at 5. Toronto at 4. Bulls at 3. Miami at 2. Not really surprised. And Philly at 1. Not a surprise as well. So there's some ground to make up here, but heavy favorites to do so.
Yeah, I think you can count on it. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and I'm just looking ahead of them, and I see it like the Wizards. Will they really be able to keep up at this pace all year? Same for the. I just don't think they can. Cavaliers, Hornets. I think all of those teams are teams that I could see at least the Hawks just passing. So I will say yes. Not great value. But they'll make it.
I don't know. I feel like they're going to be on the bubble. I think they're going to be through somewhere in that 6, 7, or 8 real estate. I hear what you're saying with Cleveland and the Wizards. Between the two, I would say the Wizards would have the higher likelihood to finish in the 8th spot. But man, I mean, you have a couple of teams still on the outside, though. Like maybe Atlanta does push those teams out, but you still have Milwaukee on the outside looking in. I assume that we believe Milwaukee will make the playoffs. Charlotte, like we had mentioned, number 1 offense in the league right now, but not playing so great a defense. We'll get to them here soon. They're coming up in a couple of picks. I don't know. It's a really tough one I definitely wouldn't bet money on that one. That one's not a value play. Yes, there's more value in saying no right now, but I still wouldn't jump at it. I feel like they'd need a big injury. I feel like they would need to lose Trey for that to happen, and I'm not going to bet on that. So interesting one. I think they will make it, but they've got some ground to cover, and it's pretty thick there in the back end of the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference is looking really good right now, especially in comparison to the West. Here's a fun one. Boston Celtics, who I just can't figure this team out. Yes to make the playoffs, minus 184. No is at plus 148. I think I'm going to take the no. Where's the consistency coming from with this team? They're just night and day.
Yeah, it's so tough for me to say no to this team just because of, having Jason Tatum, who we could see, he goes off for, 50 points, it seems like regularly. So
he needs a lot of volume to do it. He's not shooting very well.
Jaylen Brown, he's had some really, really good nights. I think he had 28 just a few nights ago. I don't really want to bet either way on these. I don't think the value for yes is good enough at minus 184. And I think you might be able to get better value for no down the line. Well,
to get better value on no, they'd have to go on a run.
Yeah.
They'd have to revert to that.
Well, I think, you will start seeing them win some early, but then you see a injury or something like that down the stretch. I mean, that's going to help your if you took it at the higher number.
I like the plus 148. I'm willing to buy and do it now because they will get some of those easy matchups. They'll get over 500 here soon. They're at 4-5 right now. They're at tied, with the Hawks for number 11 in the East. I don't know. When we talk about them versus like the Wizards, I like the Wizards more right now. I like the balance of their roster now without Westbrook. Spencer Dinwiddie at the 1. He's getting the ball to who can shoot. Whether it's Kuzma, whether it's Beal, Caldwell Pope is playing very well starting at the 3. I don't know. I feel like they got something special there here in DC, I should say. I'm here. So I don't know. I feel like the Celtics, if they were on the bubble versus a team like that, or man, even the Cavs right now who are just playing great defense, like they have a ton of veteran leadership. The Celtics locker room's a mess. You got Marcus Smart calling out Jaylen Brown and Tatum in post-game interviews. You got Tatum and Brown just avoiding post-game interviews. Like the two best players on the team are just like, screw it. I didn't play very well tonight, so no talkie for me. So, yeah, I feel like there's some issues there.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see your players calling each other out in the first full month of the season.
He said, hey, everyone knows that you guys are going to shoot. Pass the ball. In so many words. Like, you guys got to learn to pass the ball more. Ooh. The Bucks just made a shot from like beyond the basket. Like, that's what I know it's not my night. Like, they did like behind the basket shot and it went in. That's when you know things aren't going to be going right.
Yeah.
Unreal. All right. We got Charlotte Hornets here. Yes is at plus money, plus 146, and no is the minus 180. I'm liking that plus money at the yes. I feel good about it. I mean, the defense isn't there, like we said, but they're playing great offense. If they clean up the defense, you get to like the median of the league, so they're a playoff team.
Yeah, I think the value at plus 146 I like a lot. They just have those pieces, they have LaMelo, Miles Bridges, Terry Rozier. So I like them there, and I think the value you get there is pretty good. At plus 146, if I had to guess, they would be like one of those last one in scenario.
Yeah, I'd still have them at 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the offense, like I said, they just have to clean up their defense. Right now, they're 5-4. They have a winning record, and you're getting plus money on that. I know that's still very early, but I like what I've seen so far. We have to love what we saw from LaMelo last year. PJ Washington gets into this lineup. They get a little bit more depth. I think that these numbers avert. They flip. So give me the yes while I still can at plus 146. Oh, home run right here. Doubles minus 325. Yes. Going to mean a big decline to hit the no at plus 250. We definitely need an injury. We would definitely need to lose Vooch, DeMar, Levine. We need something big to happen here. This is a hammer down minus 325. Slam it at 6-2, baby.
Yeah,
I know you're not going to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over the yes here. They're just clicking DeRozan three straight with 30. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to take a lot. And I think even if you lose, like, I don't know, maybe if you lose one of them, it kind of derails your season. But I still think they have enough talent with that they could be one of the last ones
we
in.
We can't lose Vooch. Like, we're hurting in the paint right now.
Yeah, big.
Yeah, so that would be a big problem. If we lost Levine, same thing. DeMar, same thing. I mean, we need those guys to stay healthy. Eventually, I feel like we will start seeing some minute regulation. Like they're going to be on the hook a little bit, especially after we get a handful more of wins. All right, next up we got Cleveland Cavaliers winning record 6-1 ATS in their last 7, looking good. Yes is plus 980. We got to throw a couple bucks on it, right? I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they're playing good. Scrappy team.
Yeah.
And at plus 980, can't really pass up the value. Do they make it? Probably not, but I'd say there's an outside chance.
Make a dollar holler on that. I mean, maybe 10, but you know what I mean? Like that value right there is amazing. And I mean, if you're really just against us, take the minus 2,200 and lay big money. That Floyd Mayweather cash, right? I mean, if you want something like that, you can also find the Magic or the Pistons, but you have to just like that's a huge investment.
Yeah.
And hopefully you don't like using any of that money anytime soon.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got the Dallas Mavericks. Yes is at minus 400. No is at plus 300. Still having their struggles though. No.
Yeah, I think they are. I think though with Luka, I mean, you have one of the best basketball players, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not just him scoring; he gets others involved.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they will be fine down the stretch. I think minus 400 for yes is probably good
They're
spot to have it
currently
at.
third. They're currently third in the Western Conference. By the way, Utah is number 1 at 7-1. Earlier that wasn't coming to us, but yeah, they're number 3, tied with Memphis. Memphis at 5-3. Let's go Memphis. So I like them to make it, but I just feel like there's some question marks around their team. Obviously, beyond Luka, what is there? Porzingis, right? Like Dorian Finney-Smith,
Yeah, you want to see Porzingis just do a lot better. Is he still hurt? Still, right?
I think he came back in his last game, but he's missed a couple of games here.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a complete dud of a trade for them. So I guess here's a good question: Dallas at 5-3 or Memphis at 5-3? Which one do you think?
More likely, I would
Yeah.
say Dallas is more likely just based on experience, but I'm a Memphis guy. Like Memphis was a huge team for me last season. Memphis and the Knicks were the most profitable teams for me in 2020. So I'm a fan of theirs. I just like watching them play. I would be rooting for them to do that. But more likely, I mean, Dallas with Luka, like you just have that guy that's, a top 5 usage player in the NBA. He's just going to carry your team for you and constantly put you in a position to win. So I would have to go Dallas.
Yeah, totally agree there. But as a fan, rooting for the Grizzlies.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, next up we got we'll skip the Denver Nuggets. They're gonna make it. Let's go Indy Pacers. A little bit bigger of a question mark here. Yes or no? Yes is at minus 105. No is at minus 115. They're currently 3-6, but they haven't been healthy. Karis LeVert's back. TJ Warren will be back soon. We've talked about Chris Duarte before, kind of being a nice piece for them, nice little fill-in guy. But Brogdon, Sabonis, and Turner, I feel like they have the pieces to carry the load here. And I didn't even mention, LeVert or Warren in that mix. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is going to be a deep team once they get 100%. I like the yes.
I'm going to go no. I'm going to go opposite. I think you're just counting on too much, like when this happens, and I need to see that. Sure. It's a team that, they run in stretches. And the East, we said it earlier, it's a really, really tough conference this year.
Right now, it's still early. We're going to need some injuries. Maybe a couple guys get COVID, some crazy stuff happens, Haven't even seen Kyrie yet. Who knows what's going to happen in the East? Haven't even seen Kyrie. I like it, though. They seem like they have a deep team. Maybe I'm just, favoriting a little bit too much. I really love Sabonis. We've already mentioned Turner quite a bit. Brogdon's one of my favorite guards in the league, so maybe I'm just a little too close to it. Here's a polarizing one. LA Clippers. Yes, minus 162. No is at plus 132. No Kawhi, no playoffs? Question mark. They're currently 9th. There's a bug in front of me.
So is this what the thinking is? Kawhi going to be out until playoffs at the soonest?
Yep.
Man.
Or like just before he might, do his rehab games, weeks out. Yeah.
I'll go yes. I still think they get it done. Paul George has been playing really, really good basketball, averaging 28 and a half, I want to say. I still think they can get it going down the stretch. You get Ibaka. I think they can get it done.
Yeah, Ibaka's not really a needle mover for me right now. He's getting up there. He's getting up there in age. It's a really tough one. I'm gonna go with the no. I'm gonna go with the no with the plus money here. Plus 132. I'd like to get, maybe a couple more wins. Maybe that number climbs in the next couple of days with a couple more wins. Because you know what, the teams ahead of them, they're at 9. They're ahead of a fair amount of teams. Minnesota, Portland, OKC, Sacramento. But the teams I have ahead of them right now, I really love to make the playoffs. Sacramento, Denver, the Lakers, the Suns, Memphis, Dallas, obviously Golden State and Utah, right? Like I really like all of those teams to make the playoffs, obviously minus big losses on injury and things like that. So I don't know. It's still, the records aren't there. The records aren't as good as the East, but it's still going to be really tight. It's the West at the end of the day. So I'm gonna go with the no. I'm gonna say they're going to be missing too much, and they probably need to make a deal to fill in the void for Kawhi.
It's crazy too. I mean, like one injury to some of these teams, and it goes the complete opposite way for them. If anything
It
were to
does.
happen to Paul George, that's an easy no there. So actually, you might have flipped me just on the value of what no would be. I don't necessarily want to bet on an injury, but they also have their other holes with not too many big bodies with much skill for them.
Yeah, I agree. We got the Knicks bringing it back. They're down by 8. Watching this last possession here.
That has to be a pretty good run for them then. It was like a 17
they're now down
game.
they're now down by 10 again. But yeah, they went on a big run. I watched Grayson Allen throw up a giant brick from the 3-point line. That was cool. That was cool. Oh, Derrick Rose is looking really good. He is in rare form tonight. He's rocking that Ben Gordon floater right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's rocking that little Ben Gordon little high push ball. Got a couple of dimes on it, a couple of nice little buckets. Almost had another one there. Oh, they're getting back in it though. They're gritty. This Knicks team. They play good defense. All right, next up we got not the clip show. We already had the clip show. Lakers. It's a heavy yes. I expect them to make the playoffs, but we've obviously seen some huge struggles, right? 2 losses to OKC is not okay. The Lakers. I don't care who's healthy, who's not healthy. It's OKC. Come on. Like you got what's his name? SGA pulling up from midcourt, from half court, from the logo.
Draining
a 3 in your face. Like, what is that? Come on, the Lakers. Like, do better. And they lost that game by 3, by the way.
I like how in the shot they like zoomed in then on Shai after he hit that, and you could just see LeBron sitting and plain clothes, sitting back there, and it was like, all right. So
and I took that as disrespect.
So right? I really want to take the no on the Lakers at plus 730. I don't think there's a shot in hell that it happens, but
yeah,
I'd love to see it.
They're still 5-4. They have a winning record despite the 2 losses to OKC, but man, they got to get it together and get it together fast. Like we saw the struggles, with the Miami team, like the first, I shouldn't say the first dream team, but we can thank Boston for that, right? But that first go around with Bosh and Wade and LeBron, like it took a while, like 10 or 12 games to really get in the flow of things. So I'm not necessarily worried about them. I do think that eventually with all of them healthy, they're going to go on some big runs here, but I mean, even when they are fully healthy, they're going to have their challenges in the West. Like there are going to be teams they're going to be able to keep up with them. It's just going to be interesting to see how they, manage the lineup. How they set up, the pairings with everybody. Are they going to keep all 3 of those stars on the floor? Are they going to split them up? So there's still a lot to see here. If you're not bullish on the Lakers, definitely lay the plus 730. If you're not liking what you're seeing from Westbrook and company, Anthony Davis is just carrying the load. As far as production goes, but there's no way we can bet the yes on this. Not yet anyways.
No, I just don't like, I guess that would be more of to win the NBA championship. It'd be a no for me. I just do not like, I don't think they mesh well together, just their skill sets. And I mean, maybe that's in large part due to Russell Westbrook. I don't think anyone can really coexist with him just trucking up bricks at
honestly, the turnovers are more of an issue for me. I think at one point he had like 6 turnovers a game he was averaging. I'm not sure if that number is still up to date, but I mean, it's looked pretty ugly. I mean, there's just missing shots. I get missing shots. You're an NBA player. Those buckets are going to come and go. You're going to get yours, but the turnovers, man, like you're an elite point guard. Don't turn the ball over. Come on, like what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, turnover is definitely a question mark. I do think, buckets will come, but he's never been a particularly strong shooter towards the outside.
But he attacks the paint. He can get it done. Inside the lane.
Yeah, and that's where I just don't think they mesh as well. I mean, LeBron, very similar style player. He obviously, with age, he's kind of backed out. And then you have Anthony Davis, who's a big guy around the rim. So I just don't like them to gel.
It's a pick and roll. Use the pick and roll.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
I don't know. Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, pick and roll, and LeBron pops. You know what I mean?
But if it's that easy, then why is it not being done?
Because they're not. Because I don't know. They don't want to do that. I don't know. Sometimes it should be simpler than it is, and I feel like they are still going to be playing that individual basketball. Like I don't get to watch a ton of Lakers because I got a fucking bedtime. I got to get up and do some things. I got a life at 6 a.m. So I don't get to see a lot of them. But when I do, they're still playing that one-on-one ball. Davis is backing somebody down. Fadeaway jumper. Push off, fade, shoot, easy bucket. Westbrook putting up bricks. LeBron hitting outside shots, missing easy shots. It seems like it's still that individual type of basketball to me, and everybody else is just trying to sprinkle in where they can. Carmelo Anthony's been shooting the lights out. He's been doing well.
Yeah, I like the revitalization of Carmelo's career.
Revitalization, just playing well.
I mean, things. No, I mean he was damn near out of the league, and then
but I guess he did that in Portland. So I like watching him in Portland.
Yeah.
When he came to Lakers, I was just kind of like, oh, all right, you did that. All right, cool.
Get a ring. I hope he gets a ring.
But honestly, I think he would have worked better. Like his style of play would have worked better in Dallas. He could have had more minutes. He would have been a reliable outside shot for Luka to dish to, more reliable than Porzingis, I'd say. I would have done that in a heartbeat if I was Dallas, but Lakers. What are you gonna do? Get caught staring at the pinstripes or the Laker yellow or gold or whatever they call it. All right, moving along. We got caught up there a little bit on Lakers. Rightly so. They're the Lakers. All right, Memphis Grizzlies. Yes is minus 230. I want better value. Lose a few games. Plus 184 to the no. I want to take the yes, but minus 230 is terrible value for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that they're not a for sure in the West. But so at 230, I don't like them, but I do like them to make the playoffs. I'm at the very least they can sneak in at 8.
I think they can sneak in at 8, but like I said, the minus 230, there's no upside there. That needs to come down, honestly, to plus money. Like I feel like they lose 3 games, plus money at the yes, because they'll be out of the playoffs at that rate. With the rate in the West.
Well, yeah, and you said they're sitting third, tied for third in the
third.
Yeah, they're gonna fall back from there.
Yeah, wait for him to get to the 7th or 8th spot. You'll probably get some plus money on the yes, and then hammer it.
Definitely.
All right. Did we already cover the Knicks? Did I put the Knicks on here twice? No, not yet. Knicks down by 10, but it's not 20, so that's great. All right. The Knicks, yes, at minus 188 is a home run for me. How the Grizzlies are at minus 230, but the Knicks are at minus 188 is beyond me. But I'm hammering minus 188 on the Knicks right now. Crazy?
No, I think any Tom Thibodeau coach team should honestly be always sitting. I would put him at least minus 200. So minus 188. I like that. We've seen what they can do. All the way down. We saw last year they made a good push. I don't know how far they'll make it into the playoffs, but over the stretch of 82 games, they'll be just fine to make it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now they're 7th, but they're tied all the way up to 5th. Brooklyn, the Wizards, and the Knicks are all 5 and 3. So I feel like they can move up to the 5 or 4 spot here. Man, they're trading buckets right now. Now Milwaukee's up 56-45. We're in it though. We're in the game. All right, Minnesota Timberwolves, yes, is plus 205. The no is minus 265.
Yeah, I'm leaning no. I don't think they make it in.
I don't like them. They would need to make a move or two. No one really, on paper really does anything for me. I feel like they need to get rid of Karl Anthony Towns because I don't see him being, a career player in Minnesota. And if anything, he wants out. I would love him in a lot of different places. Celtics, Blake, if you're watching, I feel like that would be a really good one. Man, the Raptors with Karl Anthony Towns, my goodness, they'd be out of this world. A couple of different teams I would really like to see him get moved to, but I'm not going to be having them make the playoffs. They're definitely not deep enough. Speaking of the Raptors, yes is at plus 210. Did I mention the Raptors have won 5 games in a row?
Sitting at 6 and 3, that's really good value, and they're missing Siakam.
Yeah, that might be the biggest home run on our sheet here.
Yeah, I'd probably agree too. Because
those are those are FanDuel numbers. That's your backyard. That's your backyard, Steve.
I'm gonna be jumping on that.
I mean, I can't find an argument for them not to. They're playing great basketball now. They're upgraded at guard with well, maybe not upgraded. We'll call it a wash with Dragic and Lowry, right? Van Fleet, kind of taking over the reins for the team, kind of in that big leadership role with Siakam when he comes back. OG Anunoby, Siakam, Scotty Barnes, going to be a great 6-man when Siakam comes back. Or maybe they just push Siakam to the 5 and let him be a stretch center. What do you think?
I think that, I think Scotty Barnes is really the piece for me that sets them apart. He's been able to just slide right in as a rookie and provide big minutes and numbers for them. So, and gaining back your best player, all-star, I think this is a home run pick.
Yeah, Raptors to make the playoffs. Yes, plus 210, 6-3 right now in the East. Number 4, right behind Chicago, right behind Miami. And they've won 5 games in a row. Like I said, they're playing really well right now. Really well. All right, last one up here. We got the Washington Wizards at 5-3 as well. Yes is at plus 146. No is at minus 180. That minus 180 might not be so bad on the no. I mean, we've been talking up a lot of these other teams here. Some of the teams that aren't in that playoff mix right now to start the season. I feel like the minus 180 is a pretty fair value. I like the Wizards to make it, but as far as confidence level, they would be on the lower end of the teams that we've talked about so far.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought we were going to be split on this. I'm on the no. I can't put them in there. There's some good teams behind them that I think can easily leapfrog them. I don't think they have a shot at it. So I like the minus 180.
So we take the Wizards on the no on the minus 180, and then we parlay that with the Raptors, yes, plus 210. Before you know it, we're wearing khakis, baby. Let's go. All right. Been a good show so far. Let's jump into some live betting here. Man, for a second there, I had the Knicks down by 6, and then Milwaukee comes back and hits a 3. Evan Fournier misses a 3 right after. That's great. All right. They just really, really want to make me sweat it out. But obviously, that was a huge comeback. I'll have the second quarter score up here in a second here. I'm jumping into the live betting. We're going to go over the games that we didn't cover at the front end of the show, get some updates on them, and look for some value live here. It's just loading. It's just loading. Don't you worry. It's just loading. All right. So first up, we've got the Grizzlies and the Wizards. Wizards up big, 85-63, having a great game. Started off in the first quarter, 35-31. Grizzlies coming back a little bit here in the second quarter, 25-16, or not that way. They also were down. So, and then third quarter again, 25-16. So Wizards running away with it here. Grizzlies, can they cover 18.5 points on the road in DC? Yikes. I guess I take that.
Yeah, I think I would have to. They're a good enough team. They're just not playing well tonight. This is one I thought Grizzlies were going to at least give them a run for their money, but this is tough. John Moran not having a great night, only 9 points for him so far. And then you've seen the Wizards just get it done as an entire team.
Yeah, that sucks when you have John Morant being outperformed by Grayson Allen on your fantasy team. That's a tough ask. Man, now the line's up to 20.5 because the Wizards just keep scoring. Oh, my God. And we're not going to touch the total there either. It's at 210 points. I would take the under on that. You agree?
Yeah, going into the fourth, I'd take the under.
Yeah, I would take the under there. All right, next up, we've got the Spurs over the Magic, up 10, 72-62. They're about to start the fourth quarter. The total for this one is, 185. So 72-62. Oh, Lord, we're at 134 points. So you're looking at, 51 points in the fourth quarter? I take the under 185, I guess. What do you think?
I can't believe that, but I'm going to take that. Just looking at the scoring by quarter, 30-20, 19-16, 23-26. I don't think they can get it done. I mean, the leading scorer in this game, Murray for the Spurs, has got 14 points. This is a terrible game.
Lock it down, DeJounte. 9.5 point spread, 10-point ball game. You like the Magic to cover?
No, I like the Spurs to cover that.
All right, give me the Spurs as well. You know what? Don't. No. I take the Magic. What am I saying? I got to stop letting me bet on the Spurs, Steve. I'm too close. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like look at them like, oh, that's great. That's a great number for the Spurs. Oh, they'll cover that. Nope. Lost by 20.
I don't know if it's that I have confidence in the Spurs or if it's that I'm just that out on the Magic.
Makes sense. Also, they're stinking bad. At break time or halftime here, we got Knicks and Bucks. Knicks are down 7. So I'm off by about 3 points here, and I need a 3-ball to get back into the cover territory. Knicks are now at 7.5 live. Over under is at 226.5. I take the under. 226. It's a 56-63 ball game.
Oh,
I take the under.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably take the under too. We were under from the jump. I'll stay under.
Yeah. So the Knicks had a 37-point second quarter. The Bucks had a 38-point first quarter. Bucks still put up 25 in the second year. So they're looking good. Knicks, I think they're going to keep it close. I like them to cover in the second half, and I still like them to outright win. I feel like the Bucks are really riding hot on that hot start from Grayson Allen. So I'm going to take the Knicks to win outright here. There's no money line value right now. The books are reassessing. But when that number comes live, jump on it, guys. I still like the Knicks here. I think they're going to get it done.
Definitely.
Raptors up 9, 57-48 over the Cavs at halftime. We're looking good there. We're looking good. Let's see. Right now the spread is at 10.5 in favor of the Raptors, of course. I like the Cavs to cover that 10.5. I don't know why they're giving us so many points.
Yep.
Gave us 4 points back from the tip.
Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm not necessarily particularly confident. Just looking at the Cavaliers, they've had really no one stand out. Sexton and Garland both have 4 points right now. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to take maybe I'll flip myself. Yeah, I'm going to go Raptors laying the points.
Laying the points, okay. Like I said, I mean, they were going to struggle here without Markkanen and Kevin Love. I mean, they've been in the lineup playing heavy minutes, across the success that they've had to start this season. So obviously there had to be some effect from their absence, right? So I'm still going to take the Cavs to cover. It's their defense, still a top 10 defense in total scoring in the NBA right now. So I think that they'll figure it out here in the second half, and they'll have a handful of stops. Over under right now is at 204.5, 57-48. It's very, very close. It looks like they just started the third quarter, second half, and they actually just took off a half point, like right away. They took off a half point, and then it came right back because the Raptors put in a bucket. So we're at 60-48. Over unders at 205.5. We're at a 108 total right now to start. It's too close. It's really close, man. I can't decide. I guess I'll take the over. I mean, if I'm gonna have the Cavs cover, they got to score. So I'll take the over 205.
Over 205. Yeah, I will. They've actually been scoring pretty well in this game by quarter. So, yeah, I like it.
Who is that? Is that Evan Mobley? The ball just slipped out of his hands and went into the basket. They're showing Cavs Raptors highlights right now. He just went up and it just came out of his hands and it went in. It's funny.
Like Shaq and a fool good?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, last one up here. We've got the Clippers and the T-Wolves. T-Wolves up big, 46-29. Great start for them. 8:09 left in the second quarter, so still early here. We've now got the Clippers at plus 8.5. I like that. Clippers plus 8.5. I know they're down big right now, 17 points. But again, I still like their defense more in this one. What do you think? 8.5 is a big number for the T-Wolves to cover.
I agree with that. And I like the number, but where it's sitting at the game, it's a 17-point difference, and they're only giving them 8.5. That's crazy to me.
Not a ton of respect for the T-Wolves.
No, none at all. Yeah, I'll say. Actually, no, I'm going to lay it with the Timberwolves.
All right.
Just too big of a lead for me to get behind.
Yeah, they had a 10-point lead in the first quarter, 33-23, good start, and then they've also continued that success into the second, 13-6. So same level of distance here. Clippers haven't really done anything to make their move yet to make that climb, but I like them to do it. I trust the Clippers to come back, a grittier defense. Going to rely on your boy Paul George to crank up the number a little bit, score some points. Give it to me. I got to check on my fantasy team here to see this damage I'm facing because Grayson Allen isn't in my lineup.
How's Kemba doing tonight?
Oh, Lord.
You got to look at
Grayson
that.
Allen has 32 fantasy points at half. That's not very good on my bench.
That's
not very
one.
good. But conversely, Connaughton is also on the bench, and he only has 6.5. So I wasn't going to bench him over, Ricky Rubio, who's been playing as well. I mean, Buddy Hield, Anthony Simmons, maybe that was the guy to bench for Grayson Allen, but he's still also been playing very well his last couple of games. This is easily Allen's best game. Easily. I mean, he's already at 32. That may have been his high that he's hit all season, I feel like. Hang on one second. So, no, he's not. He's had a couple of big games. Never mind. Oh, no, that's Joel Embiid. Nope, that's not him. That's not him. I was like, wait a second. He did not have that big a game. Yes, that is correct. So prior to this game, his highest point total was 33.8 in my fantasy league, and he has 32 at halftime with 17 minutes played. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
And Fernie Simmons, too. He can sometimes just heat up and bang, 5 threes quickly. Yeah,
I mean, he's playing really, really well for them right now. Like I said earlier, like behind McCollum, he's their three-point shooter. Like Dame just hasn't been there. McCollum and Simmons are both shooting the same percentage from the three-point line. I think it's 0.429 for both of them. So, yeah, Simmons has really stepped up to fill that scoring void. I mean, obviously, it's not Dame volume. It's not even McCollum volume. Like, McCollum is shooting twice the amount of three-point shots than Simmons is. It's just that, Simmons is just making his when he gets his opportunity. So both of those guys are shooting over 40%. Would like to see Dame get up there as well.
Yeah, that'd be a deadly trio there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like the first year, too, that I don't have Dame Lillard in fantasy in like 3 years straight. It's the first time I don't have him, and he's in the dumps. So
you just had a feeling.
I just didn't get to pick him because everybody kept picking him ahead of me. That's another thing is I always get I don't know why I never get a top 5 pick in fantasy basketball. I also haven't had a top 5 pick in like the past 4 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, every single time. And this year it was like 8 and 9, like both of my leagues. Like, what the hell? But in the past couple of years, like, the Dame, temperature has been a little bit lower. So people aren't chasing after him, but he was pulled into like every top 5, top 6, 7, like in each one of my drafts. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. So,
yeah, not going to get a share of him.
Yeah. I had Jason Tatum as a share in one. That was not great for a first pick. I could have done better. But so far, I'm undefeated in fantasy basketball, so I really can't complain. 2 leagues, 2-0. So
let's go.
Gangsters got to eat too. All right, you got anything to close it down with? We out.
We're out. Everyone have a good weekend.
Yep, have a good weekend. Stop by Sunday morning. We'll be here giving our fantasy takes for football, giving our game picks, our sitter starts, and getting after it. So Monday back for Monday night, and next Wednesday for hockey, next Friday again for basketball. Take care, be well, be good, and if you can't be good at it. We'll see you later.